Yadi, we've been talking about safe space and brave space, and I'm curious to know what that looks like for LGBTQ youth in particular. That's a subset of the population for youth ministry that I think hasn't always experienced safe and brave space in churches or elsewhere. How can youth workers be especially mindful of that group of young people, and how can we create safe and brave space for them?
The intentionality of our programming is a cornerstone of how we create the spaces. Um, in many church spaces, I have often heard the words of pink and blue, don't purple. And it's been a sort of just it's a joke, or it's a way of saying girls over here, boys over here. But what that does is it starts sort of gendering your language. So already you're saying this is normal. And so LGBT youth in particular, and especially when you go with the plus Q and open for everyone, your language and your programming has to be intentional in forms of how you're going to offer that space. These kids are used to being made fun of. They're used to being called unnormal. They're used to being picked on and picked last. And they're often used to be ridiculed or joked about. This is so gay, things like that. And so when we do programming or when we create things, we have to be mindful that we as leaders or as workers and pastors, that we are not using those language, that those things that without us really meaning it that way, we start creating those silos of what is normal.
That's really helpful. Yeah, thank you. And it reminds me of the false binary, right? Where we tried to separate people into these categories that so many postmodern theorists would say this actually isn't accurate at all. And for theologians who tend to put God in a box,
Right.
again, postmodern thinking is like God can work in so many different ways. And it seems like this is another manifestation of that, is what you're describing.